Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Nuh-uh, we're not back. We're here for the first time, bitch. Guess what? It's another episode of What's Good America. I want to stop for a second. Let me publicly apologize to Michael Bazemore. Michael Bazemore, despite COVID being the real winner of that game, Michael A. Bazemore predicted the Notre Dame over Clemson victory. So this is me being a bigger man and saying, you know what, Baze, you called it. Thank you for calling it here on What's Good America. We do appreciate it. Now, back to our daily dose of ignorance. The young man with the What's Good America hat that has the Illinois state symbol on it, with the fresh new haircut, with the engagement photos coming out tomorrow. That's my right-hand man on my left-hand side, Mr. Clean himself, the GQ model. The man could have been in Jet Magazine if they still make them. Do they still make them? I don't know.
Let's go. Let's go.
The dapper young man himself, James Shamar Moore Walton III. What's going on with you, baby?
Oh, we over here chilling, man. And no disrespect to my man Shamar Moore, because he's definitely a GOAT. I'm more Moore's chestnut over here.
I knew you were gonna come back.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like Bill Bellamy without the Duke Nukem kid up top. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm rolling. You know. Shout out to my chocolate guys, man. And also, you know what goes great with chocolate guys?
What goes great with chocolate?
Peanut butter.
Oh.
Shout out to our unofficial sponsor, Screwball. We loving you, Screwball. It ain't over. We coming for
that check. Cut that check.
We gonna keep pumping you because we believe in you. We know what time it is. You keep on liking us and believing in us. We right there with you. And it's always a pleasure to have this guy on the show. We've already said a lot of great things about him. I'm gonna give him his credit as well too. He did predict correctly that Clemson would lose. And that's as far as I will go with it. I think he really knows in his heart of hearts, if 16 was playing and that happened, it would feel much better. It feels good to be right like that, especially on our show because it's on wax. That's the best part is when it's on wax and you're like, yep, hold on. Let me go back to that moment. He's down here, man, and we love him. But we had to have him on the show. He's known by many names. You know what I'm saying? Baconator. You know what I'm saying? Dad.
Max's dad.
He's known as 15. He's known as Python's what? Python's what? Da-da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? But it's Mike Bazemore. Welcome back, Baconator. We're glad to have you here, dude.
Glad to be here, man. You know what they say, a broke clock is right twice a day. So, sometimes those predictions hit differently, especially when you got COVID out there. So, I will take my flowers as they come. Yeah. Let's get it, man. Brother Baze is back in the building.
Yeah, we'll go ahead, man. That was a real smooth pick by Larry Smoother. Let's just say that right there. Larry
all right.
Getting real smooth on that one.
Enough of that shit.
Uh-oh.
So last show, I went in for a modest amount of time about the decaying Big Ten. And I call it the decaying Big Ten mainly because this is not even the first topic, but this is just something I want to throw at you because I don't know if you listened to the last show or not, but this is what you got to answer for me.
And me.
And Mr. Walton there.
Because I actually am the one that brought it up. And I said, well, if we go ahead and say this on wax, we might as well just invite him to the show because he's just going to be like, yo, I'll see y'all on Tuesday anyway.
So the topic was, matter of fact, let's go down memory lane for a second. Let's go back to 2002. All right. There was two young men from the state of Florida, took a visit up to East Lansing. Number one tight end in the country, and then like the number 9 player in the country. Rolled out the red carpet. It was a fastidious event. These two young men came from Florida, Southeastern Conference, ACC guys, came to see a Michigan State game. Now, at the time, the defensive tackle didn't know you, so It's on some real Florida shit at the time. That game was a primetime game. ABC, whatever it was, 7 o'clock, only game on TV. Well, then they'll have like the whack game at like 10 o'clock at night. Nobody cared about that shit. But primetime game, Michigan State. It was an epic game. Like, it came down to the last second. TJ Duckett ended up getting like the game-winning touchdown. It was white women and natty light everywhere. Fast forward 2020. And now that game is ABC still, I believe, but it's on at like 10 o'clock. Nobody really gives a damn, especially not me. What happened to Michigan State? That's the question. Like, what happened?
Nothing happened. You got to understand, this particular year, we have a pandemic. So, with that being said, everything got switched up with the scheduling, TV games, and whatnot. And so, while that game, I think this year probably would have been a 3:30 game, to be honest with you. But, you know, it all depends on the rankings. And so, we weren't ranked. We got beat down by Rutgers. Terrible game for us. Michigan had an okay game, so it wasn't a need to put neither one of us on a primetime spot. And I forget somebody else was playing that weekend too that had a higher ranking than us. So it is what it is. I mean, you know, it all matters. You know, it doesn't matter what time the game matters if you're going to win it or not. So, and but this year we got bragging rights over the Possums. So that's all I care about. I don't give a damn. We play at 9 o'clock, noon, 7 p.m. You're going to win.
We need to dive deeper into this. I'm surprised.
Please.
Chris tried to pick a softball question. I'm going to go in on you. Because,
I did.
And it's not just you. I said on the last show that what you guys are doing right now and what the team that I know you hate more than anything in the world is doing is not good at all for our conference. Now, we came on this show, you and I together, and defended this conference the way that we should, me being from that area and being a true Big Ten guy, and you, of course, being one of the great players that have come through there. But let's really talk about this 2-4 record combined between the both of you. The losses, the teams that you've lost to for these records. Let's talk about the fact that this is not just a one-year thing with your team in particular. This has been going on for a while. And I think the thing I pose to it is, are we at the point now where these schools are they looked at the same way they were? I mean, I'm starting to look at, maybe Michigan because of the fact they're still able to, get the 5-star presence here and there. But the one thing Michigan State had always been good at in the last 10, 15 years, and I know this because you and I have been friends for 11, is getting these great 3 to 4-star talents that are just that step below. These are the Le'Veon Bells of the world you're talking about that are within the same process. And you've seen these guys come and go, the Denards that have been first-round draft picks that have helped Michigan State steadily be a 9-10 win team until the last 3 or 4 years. Do you think it's deeper than just the coaching? Like, I've got a couple thoughts about it. Obviously, I think the scandals have a shit ton to do with it. And I honestly think what's happened in the last year or two in that state has really kind of influenced players. There's a little bit of upheaval in this.
Who are you talking to?
How do you feel about, really, in all honesty, what you've seen your team do? Since basically, let's take it from the Alabama game, because Alabama was what, 20?
That was 2015 or 2016, I think.
Right in there. So let's take it from that point. Yeah, like we ain't worried about that part of it. Like, ignore this part of the screen over here. That's not why I brought it up. But since that moment, the last 5 years have not been the consistent Michigan State 9-10 win football. It's gone downhill in a hurry, and it's not been very good. Thoughts?
Man, a lot of thoughts. One is there's definitely some lingering effects from the scandal throughout the entire university. From a football perspective, we got to rebuild the pipeline in the Detroit area. The scandal really hurt us bad because obviously one of the main coaches that was involved, he had a huge pipeline of recruits in Detroit. And so we do have some coaching staff that are there now with the transition from Mark D'Antonio to I'm drawing a blank now to my guy Mel Tucker. And so we do got some guys in there now that can definitely rebuild those relationships in those areas, as well as in Saginaw and Flint and some of the other areas where there's a lot of great talent that we probably haven't been able to get in the past years that we definitely need. You got to win the recruiting battle in your state, especially for schools like Michigan State, Michigan. You got to win those battles in your home state, number one, and then you start pulling guys from other states, those, 4 stars, some of those 3 stars, and hopefully some 5 stars to be a national contender. But it's one of those things where you just hit one of those points in the program where you got to rebuild, regroup, and I think Mark D'Antonio was kind of at his ending point from a coaching staff perspective because he wasn't making any changes. The offense was very rudimentary. It just wasn't really creative to the point where you needed to be successful consistently. We haven't had consistent quarterback play. Just the whole entire offense has been one where it's been perplexing because I think we got by because we had a string of great quarterbacks. So maybe that actually straight great quarterbacks, great skill players, where maybe that made up for the lack of creativity, the lack of play design when we had those talented individuals there on campus. But what happens in terms of the guys down the road, they've had the talent. It's just a matter of their coach being overrated. So, I mean, I don't know what the hell they doing out there, but I know for us in East Lansing, I understand why we haven't been where we've been, and it's a combination of things. But I mean, hey, ain't nowhere to go but up from now. So, you got to get it done now.
I won't make you get into the whole Michigan thing because I know how you feel about scum and all. I get it. And honestly, in the brief 5 seconds you hit on it, they are overrated. Honestly, we had a conversation, I don't know if it was on air, off air, about essentially Michigan being the Georgia of the Big Ten pretty much. And I don't know if I can give them that much. Because if you look at it, Michigan gets, like Georgia, the 5-star. They flip 5-star guys every year. Every year. Harbaugh is a top 5 recruiter. But then compared to Kirby's going to get you 10 wins. He'll get you a New Year's 6 bowl. But with Harbaugh, there should always be more. With Kirby, regardless of whatever Kirby does, whenever he does win a national championship, which I hope is never, but whenever he does kind of cross that plateau, he'll still, no matter what, be a Saban assistant. Compared to Harbaugh, where it's just dudes, you got the family name, coming back to your alma mater, all this stuff is built up, and every year you piss down your leg and you don't have an excuse. Okay, you got the quarterback you wanted. You flipped 2 D linemen from Clemson and Notre Dame. You stole the receiver from Ohio State. You stole the running back from Wisconsin. And it's just year after year, Michigan gets all this buildup, all this hype. Hell, they were practicing in Europe and all this other shit before the restrictions kind of came down from the NCAA. They don't have an excuse. So I won't let you go into all that because their bullshit is documented on ESPN yearly. So, but I'm just saying, going back to it, I didn't want to go back to it, but just thinking about it's a deep dive from where you guys were, and it has a lot to do. Honestly, in my opinion, it has a lot to do with that damn scandal. More so than even the civil unrest in Michigan. But that scandal, I know for a fact my mama wouldn't let my ass go if all that shit was happening, and it just got done happening. you might want to pick something else.
And you know what's crazy about all this? I was thinking about this while you guys are both talking. You guys both technically have to root for each other in your schools. First of all, Chris Turner, your head coach is a Michigan State guy. And now Mike Bazemore's coach is an Alabama-made guy. And Baze, I'm sorry, the scandal's actually tied to a Hinsdale South kid, so my bad. I didn't know that's what we were producing out of our high school. That kid went to my high school, and he was supposed to be the one. So I apologize on behalf of Hinsdale South with him being the center of that scandal, what we did. That is
Yo, on another note, you want to know what the sign of an interracial relationship is?
What's that?
What's that?
When your Christmas tree is up already. That's just
If I could move my computer without it shutting off.
Is that not the best?
Hey. If I could move my computer in our little 500 feet of space we got here, I'm dreaming of a wine Christmas over here.
Oh shit.
We got a holiday wreath. We got the Christmas tree in the corner right by the wine cart. Yeah.
God.
Right now.
Hey, that's
ain't wasting no time, man. The decorations been up since Sunday.
Hey, and we got to give it to our ladies, dude, because, dude, like, it's been COVID, man. Like,
oh shit.
And let's just call a spade a spade. If anybody deserves to have a chance to put their stuff up early, it's Jamie. I mean, she's in Kirksville, man.
Oh my God.
But even still, she wanted to put up. Jay wanted to put up decorations around Halloween time. I'm like, you ain't even let Halloween breathe. You gotta let the holidays space themselves out. Now, in terms of putting up decorations, I can see you putting up decorations, maybe a week prior to Thanksgiving for Christmas, maybe right after Thanksgiving. But you generally do have some pockets on a Sunday, Saturday where you get some 40, 50-degree weather, sunshine. You can put them up after Thanksgiving, right? Or you got those in-between decorations where you put them up for Thanksgiving, but they can pass through for Christmas. But now we just jumping right over Thanksgiving to go into Christmas. I'm like, man, this is getting the holiday decoration game is crazy now, man. I just,
I've always been against
I let people go and let it rock out, man. Do what you do.
I don't appreciate the sentiment that Thanksgiving was based on. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, what it's based off of is a bunch of garbage. But to me, there's no better time. And that's just the guys in us. It's like, this is kind of our holiday because we don't really have to do too much. We got 3 games on. We know one of those games is going to be good, because usually one of those teams is in the mix.
Yeah.
It's on that game. And we can sit and drink and be merry and chill, and we can talk and we can be loud and we can go to bed early and we can, So that's why, fellas, I think that's a guy thing for us where we're like, man, you just couldn't wait till Black Friday. Like Black Friday, you could went shopping and then came back and put all your stuff up. Like,
but man, let's get into like the real official topic, not to make him get on Michigan State, but matter of fact, I switch a little bit. College football predictions. So COVID has canceled a lot of big games this weekend. And by mainly a lot of big games, I meant the LSU-Alabama game. I couldn't give a shit about anybody else. But college has kind of canceled this weekend. There's a bunch of other games going on that, honestly, I'm not even trying to be funny, but a lot of these games don't really matter for anything. Like, they're just games, conference games. Oh,
but doesn't matter.
What?
Last I checked, the number 23 team in the country is playing this weekend.
That must be Northwestern, huh? Because I ain't checked the rankings.
The Northwestern. There's only 3 undefeated teams in the Big Ten, Bays, and Michigan State ain't one of them. We own y'all. We ain't been worried about Michigan State 10 years.
When was the last time anybody gave a damn about the number 23 team?
Probably, I don't know.
Never. Never ever.
So
probably when you were ranked 23rd in the nation, when you were playing at Alabama, sinking that program to the ground. How about that? Take that.
you shut your goddamn mouth. Is what you do. So CFP predictions. I'm just gonna roll right out. I'm not gonna let you anger me tonight, dude. I'm not. So I want to take it like this. Give me your top 6. No particular order, but give me your 6. Who wants it first?
Go ahead, Baze. I know Baze has got a good read on this. So
We got, okay, let's go Bama, Clemson, Ohio State, Notre Dame. I would say Florida, but Florida's going to cancel themselves out some kind of way. Cincinnati, and then I guess I'll throw Florida in the mix. I'll throw Florida in the mix.
So
Florida be 6.
Can Cincinnati crack that top 4?
I can answer that question.
I think this year, yes. This year is prime for a Group of 5 conference school to be in it. If they run the table, no issues with COVID, cancellation of games. If they run the table, don't lose, it's going to be so hard to deny them an opportunity to compete in the college football playoff this year.
Now, Walt, before you go, now you can have it next. But before you go, you're going to have a 1-loss Texas A&M team. You're going to have a 1-loss Big Ten team. I'm not going to count the Pac-12 because nobody really gives a damn. I'm not going to count the Big 12 because nobody really gives a damn. But you're going to have an SEC team like Texas A&M that's going to have 1 loss. You'll have a Florida team with 2 losses, 1 or 2 losses. You'll have a Georgia team with 2 losses. You'll have a Big Ten school, and this is just a flatter walk. You'll have a Big Ten school, maybe a Northwestern that may have like 1 or 2 losses. You'll have Ohio State is bound for a slip up somewhere. So can they make it still through all of that?
So, yeah, I'm going to piggyback off of Baze because he basically named the teams I would have named for the most part. Once he got to Cincinnati, I was like, I don't care. This is the year. If Cincinnati goes undefeated, and they have the head coach to do it, fix a heck of a coach. And he's showing, Urban Meyer's continuing to show that his tree is worth a damn. If Cincinnati goes undefeated, they're the 4th. They'll be the 4th team, period. And to me, I think it's a damn shame because, like I've already said, there's an asterisk on this year. Unless Northwestern wins the Big Ten, then there is no asterisk. But
if this ain't the most double talking is
exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Purposely. So for me, I mean, it's kind of like it's basically you've got a battle of the championship games that are going to matter, right? And there's 4.
Right.
Cincinnati, as long as they're undefeated in their championship game in the AAC, is the one that matters. So you're bringing up Texas A&M. Texas A&M will not have 1 loss. They will find a way to lose twice. Okay? Alabama should most likely be undefeated going into their Iron Bowl game. Now, if they don't slip up there, they're going to probably play Florida, who has a chance to go undefeated or be 1 loss. They'll meet. And then we already know in the ACC, it's going to be Notre Dame on one side, which once again, we apologize, America. We did get that wrong with the Coach O episode. We just thought Notre Dame was going to play the ACC schedule but still be an independent. But no, we know Notre Dame is on the coastal side and Clemson's on the Atlantic side. Those two will play each other, and whoever wins that is going to get that bid out of there because.
Well, let me time out.
Notre Dame loses. Notre Dame doesn't get in because of the Trevor Lawrence effect. You can't do it. Notre Dame would have to. No, Notre Dame would have to beat Clemson with Trevor Lawrence. Because
Clemson twice?
They have to beat them twice because they're Notre Dame. And you got to forget, let's remember, it is Notre Dame. Don't act like they can't slip up. There's enough teams.
They promise slip
they might
up.
have to play. You don't know. So And I'll give you that, Bays. If they go undefeated, like, yeah, they deserve the consideration because they did beat the number one team in the country. That's going to be a great win, period, because Clemson won't drop below 5. But to me, Cincinnati, this is the year. We said this on other show, Bays. We felt so bad for Central Florida. Like, Central Florida was going like, you got to be shitting me. Like, this would
Florida deserved.
And
I would have loved to see them in the playoffs.
Those Central Florida teams that were beating up on LSU and beating up on Auburn and competing in those games, if they were in like that Mackenzie Melton before the leg injury and all those guys and the Griffin brothers running around making bro, we wouldn't even be close because they were beating everybody in their
allow me to interject some education into this conversation, because clearly whenever UCF gets brought up, they get their imaginary title brought up, and their imaginary title is realistically sitting in Tuscaloosa right now for their imaginary title.
Why does it always got to come back to them? We already said that Alabama's basically in this thing.
No, because you brought up the UCF championship, which was the year they went undefeated. It was the same year that we won.
I didn't bring the championship up, Chris. I said that team wishes that they were in this climate now, because if that team ran the table, we wouldn't even be having a discussion about that 4th slot. They would have the 4th slot. They'd be in. That's what I said.
I will say now.
I didn't say they were the national champions, man.
I will say now.
But they are. But they are.
Did you guys lose a game did you guys lose a game that year?
Yes, we did.
So
I will say now.
You lost a game. They didn't lose.
I will say now what I said during that year.
I didn't know I was
the championship.
UCF based. Jesus Christ.
To all of my friends who went to Central Florida in Orlando and graduated, or just went to school and dropped out, or just went to Orlando for a visit. I will say now what I said then. Man, fuck UCF. Now, I don't get shit. So, they can take their imaginary championship and shove it up Scott Frost's ass. So, here's my 6. Alabama. Nah, bullshit. So, Alabama.
Oh, he was going to die like yeah.
Clemson. It's hard for me to say that a one loss. I don't think Texas A&M is going to slip up. So, and this is no order for it, but Alabama, Clemson, Texas A&M, I do believe that Cincinnati sneaks into this. Florida will slip up again, and they'll be 5. And then out of pure stupidity, it will be the Big 12 champion as number 6. Out of just pure stupidity, because they don't deserve to be there. And it's not even like with the Big Ten and SEC where like they're beating up on each other and like it's just a hard fought out season. No, like in the Big 12 right now, teams are getting routed by each other and then routing somebody else the next week.
Is Oklahoma State still the only undefeated team in the Big 12?
Right. And that's how they are.
I don't know that for a fact. That's what I'm trying to tell you, America. Somebody that knows college football in and out doesn't even know if Oklahoma State's undefeated when I would know this. That lets you know the season's an asterisk. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, no, that's exactly the point, though. That's exactly the point. Like, nobody really gives a damn about Oklahoma State. Like, it's just they're not –
I don't even know if they're undefeated or not.
They're still undefeated. They are. But nobody sees that going to long term. Like, nobody sees them finishing out and going to the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship and winning it. Like, nobody sees this. Mm-hmm. Not at all. So, all that being said, we got like 3 minutes left. My question is, the tight end for Florida, is he a first rounder?
Absolutely. Why would he not?
Where's the best fit for him right now? And why?
It's a tight end.
No, there's always like just a quarterback that needs exactly that. Who do you think it is?
Who needs a tight end?
Needs a tight end?
Who needs that type of tight end?
What team doesn't need that type of tight end, Chris? Like, I'm not understanding that question. Like,
well, here's the thing. The biggest knock on him right now isn't his athletic ability. It isn't his catching. The biggest knock on him right now is they say his blocking is subpar. And with you,
so is Travis Kelce's.
There's only a couple tight ends that block nowadays that can really get it in. I'm want him to be more like a hybrid.
I'm just giving you the biggest knock they have on him right now.
Yeah, he's also 22 years old. He's going to put on 15 more pounds. They had the same knocks on Shannon Sharp when he came out of college, and Shannon Sharp's a Hall of Famer. I mean,
very true.
But my point is with that guy, and I forget his name. I'm sorry, America. I should be better about college football to do this show.
Oh, it's okay.
Even though I'm boycotting it, damn near, except for Northwestern games. I think at the end of the day with him, it's Pitts is his last name, right? Is it Pitts?
Yes.
Pitts. Okay, I got that. Dude, that dude's a stud.
Damn,
nice. He's nice.
And at the end of the day, you got to look at the NFL. What team doesn't want anything that could turn into a George Kittle situation?
True.
What team doesn't want anything?
Green Bay. He needs to go to Green Bay.
They got their guy. They like Tanyan. They like him. They're good. Yeah. Who doesn't want to stumble across a Darren Waller on accident, like Bays' team out there in Vegas? Who doesn't want a Travis Kelce situation? Who doesn't want prime time Jimmy Graham when Jimmy Graham had that 5-year run in New Orleans, which was as good as anybody had ever seen? And Jimmy Graham didn't block a soul.
No, not at all. Not at all.
He was double teaming and getting out. This dude was putting up 90 and 1,415, like, you know. So, yeah, there's a lot of teams that can use that. And this kid is legit. I mean, I'm sorry we're only giving him, 2 minutes because I know I'm not carrying this over to our next Zoom.
No.
But the kid, hey, that's the thing. I think Florida's the sneaky team. That's the only team, to me, that can throw a monkey wrench in everything. Because they've got and I've said this in other shows, they have the quarterback that can
They got the offense. Alabama. They got the offense that can hang. They got the offense that can hang
with Alabama in the championship game, neutral site. So We'll see what happens, man. But I love the Pitts kid. He's a stud. He'll probably be top 15. If he runs well, he'll be top 15.
And he should run well. But with all that being said, we got like 30 seconds left. So put Max on the screen. Damn it. She want the shine. Put Max on the screen.
She want to say hi? Say hi to Uncle Chris.
Max.
What's going on, Max? You can't hear us. Don't worry about it. I can cuss all I want.
Hey, America, we'll be right back with our next topics. We're coming right back to you. What's good, America?
Roll Tide.